अखण्डमण्डलाकारम् व्याप्तमेन चराचरम् तत्पदं पूजितं च तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. Paying my regards to all the gurus of the world who brought the wisdom from the universe in our benefits. Before we start, on today's topic, manifestation ceremonies. Everything in this universe is energy. If you want to have a nice, decent life, nice spiritual life, anything you want to do in the life, what you need is energy. And the purpose of life is to attain completeness. People think what completeness is. Is it a big thing? Is it like a car that you achieve it? Is it getting $1 billion? Completeness has got nothing to do with the materialistic world. It is rather the state of your mind in which you think that everything what I need, nature has provided. And another way of defining completeness is all your desires are fulfilled before your life ends. Is completeness. Your life ends and your desires still remains. Is not completeness. Now, how to attain that situation and in which, how can these manifestation ceremonies be useful to us? Yogic way of life, mantric way of life, or tantra way of life, spiritual way of life, everyone talks about completeness. And what are the hurdles, struggles, obstacles in reaching there? They are called desires. Now, two ways of meeting your desires. One, train your mind that I will not have any desire. But most of the times what happens, more we try to say that I will not have any desire, more the desires starts developing in you. And then what is the way left now? Fulfill your desire. And manifestation ceremonies help us completing our desires. And how do they help us? All around us is an energy body. We call it pranic body. We call it prana. Something what you can see, something what your eyes can see, you always believe. But energy you can experience always. You go into the sunlight, you will experience heat. That is energy. Energy has got three different forms. On earth, it is available in form of heat and fire. In the solar family, it is available in form of sun. And in universe, it is available in form of electricity. You cannot see electricity. But if you see and catch the wire, nothing happens when electricity is not there. And when it comes in, it gives you immense jerk because it has immense power. And that is what the energies are. So, in order to attain anything, we need hard work and we need energies. So, there was an interview I was watching a few years back, and a person who succeeded in something very great, and the reporter was asking, what was behind your success? How you became successful? And he says a very beautiful reply: planned preparation, labor, and luck. This element of luck is nothing but what karmas you have done in the past, and you are enjoying them or suffering them now as prarabdha. And this can be changed only by manifestation ceremonies. What happens in those ceremonies? We invoke the power of the universe, the energies of the universe to come and bless us with luck to attain success. So, when manifestation ceremonies, like for example, you are doing a disease-free ceremony, it doesn't remove your disease. All those who think that it removes the disease, they are in paradise. It doesn't. But it enhances luck in you. It enhances confidence in you. It enhances perseverance in you. And your search is continuous till you find the right person, the right doctor who treats you. And that is what is needed. If you find the right person, he takes care of it. And most of the times, there is no clarity in mind. It's paining here. Root cause may be your spine. So, and we find it very difficult to locate our problems. After that, solution is very easy. You go to a doctor. These days, in ancient times, they used to put the nerves like this and will be able to know what is your problem. We have forgotten that art because we have become too scientific. And now, we will do 12 tests, 15 tests. A colleague of mine is sick at the moment. And I tell you, she has just a temperature. And in about 5-7 days of hospitalization, she has done about 50 tests. And still, she was supposed to be discharged today. And after the doctors discharged her from the hospital, she got the temperature again. And they said, okay, we'll put you in monitoring for another 24 hours. What I want to say, that the treatment is also based on guessing sometimes. And to find out the real problem in us and to find out how the solution to these problems will be, here manifestation ceremonies plays a very important role. There is another colleague of mine, a disciple of mine. who always thinks and argues with me. She is very intelligent. And you know, Germans are usually intelligent. So she says, okay, why should I go for any manifestation ceremonies? I can start wishing. And then we have to understand what is the difference between our wishes and our manifestation ceremonies. Number one, in wishes, usually our mind is involved and a little bit of heart is involved. Whose? Only yours. Nobody else is wishing you. But yes, in case million of people starts wishing you something as a cheerleader, there is every possibility that your moral gets boosted and you are able to attain what they want you to attain. But when you are wishing by your own self, energy is very low. And only two parts of your bodies are involved. And in doing manifestation ceremonies, you are involved, your mind is involved, your heart is involved, all chakras are involved, 8.4 million storage points gets involved. And universal energies come and bless us. So, wishing is this much energy. Look, this much energy. And manifestation ceremonies are this much energy. That is what the difference is. And therefore, manifestation ceremonies are able to give you better result than wishing, than blessings. Because human has got a limited energy. But universe has got everything we need. Everything we need. And it also knows what we need. Maybe we are not knowing what I need. But universe has everything what I need, and it also knows what I need. And therefore, these ceremonies starts working in the right directions, and life is usually less complicated and happy. In some cultures, specifically in Jambu Dweep, Bharatvarshe, the country known as India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, there are many countries now in that Bharat Khande. But in Bharat Khande, there was a system that every human being was having 16 sacraments. And it was called Sodas Sanskara. From conceiving up till death, everything was celebrated. Everything was a Vedic ceremony. Unfortunately, they have also started forgetting it now. And I don't know when, I think some 70, 80 years back, before Second World War, there was a lot of problem for food grains. The new technology of fertilization and all has not come, population has grown, and there was a problem with food. And maybe from there, or from somewhere, we have taken feeding people in many ceremonies of our spirituality and religions too. What is, you want to marry? How many people will eat food? What food has got to do with the marriage? I was having the third ceremonies. when I was about very young, and my father was not planning who will give me the mantra, who will give me what. That was not the plan. Plan was 200 people. No, no, not 200 because 200 is very little. Then so 500 people. Then in 500 will you be able to accommodate everyone or not? So the main discussions was always on feeding people, providing them nice food, wherein these ceremonies are Vedic ceremonies. Yes, when you are celebrating something, you must eat also together. But our focus should be only on Vedic procedure and not on food. Then these are even today very useful and very nice. We must perform them and change our life for good. I think you have understood the difference between wishes and this thing. There are some Vedic terms which gets misunderstood while performing the ceremonies because of the translation maybe. Like time, Ashwa, Mata. Okay. So Vedas, like Mata, now what we know that the person who has produced us is my mother. But the real Vedic meaning of Mata was Poshika, one who takes care of us. It's not only giving birth. Mother is not only giving birth. Mother is also creating us and nourishing us. So one who nourishes was called mother. And therefore you will see earth is considered mother earth. Cow was giving milk, therefore mother cow, because it was a Poshika. Anything what was able to serve us was called mother. Even other family members, neighbors, anyone who has given us a glass of water was also our mother. So those terminology has to be understood correctly before performing any Vedic ceremony. And when you know the terminology rightly, then you have to define what you want. You want wisdom, you want prosperity, you want peace of mind, you want harmony in family. These are all the desires human being is passing through. And then we invoke this similar kind of energy. We invite similar kind of energy. And there are the Vedic names of all these energies. Energy of wealth is called Lakshmi. Energy of wisdom is called Saraswati. Energy of physical power is called Mahakali. There are basically three energies which then gets converted into several energies, and then we know what we need. Now, when we started describing Lakshmi, wealth, how will you know that you are wealthy? If you have $1 million, do you think you are wealthy? No.
Depends.
So Vedas has defined very beautifully what wealthy means. Anyone who has sufficient resources to take care of his own life and for lifelong is wealthy. If I don't have to worry for food tomorrow, after 10 years, 20 years, till my death, then I am considered wealthy even if I have 10,000. And if I want to buy an aeroplane, my needs are not limited, they are very big, then maybe few millions are also not wealthy. So when your needs are limited, you are wealthy at a very. And then the goddess of wealth, they started saying it's currency, but it's not. What is the goddess of wealth is Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Kirti Rupena Sanstita. Your fame, whether you are famous or not, is the wealth. Whether you get hungry or not, you have got everything, but you don't get hungry. Body is not supporting eating food. You are not wealthy. You are not happy either. So if you want to be happy, there are 4 happiness for a person needed to be called happy. And those 4 are Pahla Sukh Nirogi Kaya. The first wealth what you can have is a disease-free body. A healthy body. Duja Sukh Ho Pas Maya. Second happiness is that you should have money to spend. Trija Sukh Putra Agyakari. And the third happiness is that you should have your children in harmony with yourself. Harmonious children is the third wealth. And fourth and the most important wealth is Chautha Sukh Ho Sulakshana Nari. And how it should be? Sulakshana Nari means a nice, decent, lovely life partner. If you have 4, I think you should be always happy. Nirogi Kaya, Pas Maya, Putra Agyakari, and Sulakshana Nari. Now, when manifestation ceremonies for life partner goes, it's not marriage. It's not that you bring somebody and I marry. Or, okay, it says, Patni Manoramam Dehi. Mano Brittanusarani. Tarinim Durga Sansar Sagarasya Kulodbhavam. What is the meaning? One to whom my heart and mind shall like. One whose mind and heart shall like me. Manoramam Dehi. And when we are together, it must please each other. Manobrittam Sarani. And he should be able to hold my hands and walk together for life. And last important thing, she should have taken the birth in a spiritual, nice family. So, now when you are wishing, you cannot wish so systematically. Okay, God, give me a life partner. in the street when I walk, I meet her. These are the kind of the wishes what we can have. But when you go to systematic manifestation ceremonies, your wishes also gets very systematic, and those wishes are called sankalpa. And there is a very, very nice chapter on sankalpa in the retreat which you are performing. And every sankalpa says many things, and it exactly, correctly defines what you want to have and attain in your life. Then these manifestation ceremonies invokes the energy from the universe. Now people may think, boy, energy, life is going on. You don't have energy, life will not go on. The basis of life on the earth is sun. When sun's energy gets, sun is father, earth is mother. When sun's energy meets mother, then the process of photosynthesis starts. And when process of photosynthesis starts, then chlorophyll is made. Then leaves becomes green. Otherwise they will not become green. And when there are no leaves, what will you eat? Yes, somebody says that he will eat sheep. But my dear friend, what sheep will eat? So the source of energy, source of life on this planet Earth is from the sun. If sun rises, you can be alive. If sun doesn't rise, you will be dead. Okay. So even our life is based on energy. What you need the most in your life. We always say food. Love you need the most. Water you need more than earth. Fire you need more than water. Air you need more than fire. And space you need more than air. And of course, if you are able to get unconditional love, everything is taken care of. True. So, what I want to conclude from here is that manifestation ceremonies provide you the needed energy to manifest what you want to manifest. And what you want to manifest, that also gets defined very nicely, like I said in the case of Patnim Manoramam Dehi. Okay, like I said in case of the wealth, where when you think wealth, you always think it is a currency. So you will demand or wish for currency. But wealth is not only currency. Wealth is your fame, your name, your everything, your hunger, your thirst. Okay, and disease-free body, some money, a nice, harmonious son, and a beautiful life a beautiful life partner to whom you like and who likes you. That is the meaning of wealth. Wealth is not only currency. So, I wish that all of us be able to understand manifestation ceremonies and will try to put that in their life, try to invoke the energy of the universe, try to invoke the energies from the planets, from the sun, and use that for their own benefits, for their own calmness, for their own wealth, and for their own everything they want to attain in their life. Thank you.